Before we start this week's vlog, you will probably notice that it's no longer called the NaNoWriMo Diaries. I am trying to distance myself slightly from NaNoWriMo at this exact time because if you haven't been following along, there are allegations of some pretty atrocious things happening inside of the forums on the NaNoWriMo website. You can also see a little mercy paw right here. Allegedly, there has been some potential grooming happening of some teenagers in these forums by an employee of NaNoWriMo. I will link a few TikToks from Rebecca Thorne talking about it in the description if you want more details. They did make a statement. The board did come down and do something in terms of shutting down the forum, but in all honesty, there's a lot of uncomfortable stuff going on around this. There's not a lot of information. There's been, it appears, a lot of hiding or blurring of facts, or maybe, I don't know, just things don't seem to have been handled appropriately, considering this is a organization that really has a huge focus on getting kids involved in the joy of writing and books and all of that. And the response doesn't sit well with me that the board gave, and it's just all very upsetting and sad and disappointing. And so you're going to see that I'm not going forward. I'm going to keep writing this month. And this is really shifting into more of a getting into the habit of writing again and sort of relearning to love writing, and not so much about completing the exact challenge. And after this vlog, I had filmed all the clips for this vlog. And then at the start of the next vlog, all this had kind of come out. There will be a bit of a shift going forward in how I kind of talk about what's going on. And in week 3, you'll kind of see me getting more updates as the week goes on. But yeah, I'm not happy with what's happening. And I do still very much enjoy and support the premise of NaNoWriMo and the premise of what they're doing as an organization, but I don't support the way that they're handling all of this. I mean, there's bad people all over the place, and sometimes there's not a lot you can do about keeping bad people from entering an environment, but you sure as heck can be swifter and more aggressive when you find out that there are bad people in your environment. And I just don't feel like it sounds like they did that. And it kind of waited until it got to the board and it had to be reported multiple times. And it could have been handled a lot better and should have been handled a lot better. So welcome to the novel writing diaries. Also, I realize in this vlog that I'm in the middle of editing it right now. I pretty much wear the same pajamas through the whole thing. I did not have a good week in general, mentally, during week 2, and I pretty much didn't get out of pajamas other than to go to work in my scrubs. So welcome to a slightly depressing writing vlog. If anything else comes out while we're doing these vlogs, I will keep you posted, but I don't think that it's right to continue on with these vlogs as they were meant to be, especially without saying anything about what's going on. So yeah, on to the actual week of writing. It was a week. It was a roller coaster. Good morning. Welcome back to another Nano vlog. It is day 7. It's like the end of day 7, but I have to get ready for work. I did get quite a decent chunk of writing done overnight on my surprise day off. If you missed week 1, I thought I was supposed to work last night, and it turns out I work tonight and tomorrow. So I had a surprise free day off. Well, surprise to me because I forgot what my schedule was. And I had every intention of utilizing it for good for now. And I didn't. I pretty much wrote maybe 1,500 words and like all told from like the whole time I was off. And I've just woken up and kind of got myself together today. And it's about 4:30 in the afternoon. I leave for work at 6. And I should write something, but I really don't know if I can. So I'm gonna sit here with my laptop and kind of stare at it and see if anything materializes. But I don't think anything will. But those are the ups and downs of Nano. I am hoping that when I get through these 2 nights, I will have more like inspiration. I also decided while procrastinating on the TikTok, I saw an author like pitching her romance novel, and I basically spent most of last night after I couldn't write anymore reading her little very sweet hitman romance. And sweet, I'm being sarcastic if anybody doesn't know. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. You ever read something and you're like, I should not be reading this. This is absolute trash, but I cannot stop. It is like a drug. That's what happened with this. And now I have book 2. And I guess it was helpful from like a research standpoint for writing my own romance, since it's been a few years since I read a majority of romance novels instead of like other things. And I'm remembering now that if you're going to just like write a romance, it doesn't need to be like a literary masterpiece. It just needs to be words on a page. And that was kind of confidence boosting and did help me with like a nice sprint in my writing. So there may be a shift from nonfiction November from usual content to me going through a little glut of just smutty romance. Just to remind me, you can write a book that people want to read if it has smut in it. Reasonably hooky plot, some decent character development, and a lot of pound town, and you can write a semi-successful novel. So yeah, that was my confidence boost for the day. My Factor meals arrived, so I have a fridge full of Factor, and it looks lovely. It makes me feel very happy to know that there's a fridge full of food in my house, and I feel better about that guilt that I normally have over like the fact that I haven't been able to keep up with any of my normal household things is lifted a little bit. Now, if I could find a way to have somebody clean while I'm sleeping, that would make me feel even better, because my house is disgusting and it's hard to do anything because we are on opposite schedules and somebody's always sleeping. So how do you like deep clean? How do you vacuum? How do you scrub? How do I put my books away? If you've ever done like major book reshelving, things fall, you make noise, it's a whole thing. These are the struggles of my life, and I am using this intro to avoid starting writing. So I'm going to stop doing that and we're going to write. And then on to day 2. Welcome to day 1 of week 2. Okay, I've basically been YouTubing it, but I just wanted to show you some of my stats so far. So I've been really good. I've written all 7 days. But what I'm actually really proud of is that I'm not that far off from, I hate this website so much, and don't look at my piles of stuff. I'm not that far off from where I need to be. So today I'm supposed to be at like 11,000. I'm at 9,000. Tomorrow I'm supposed to be at like 13. By the time I'm off, I'm supposed to be at 15. But I think I can get back on track.
You sure about that?
By the time I'm off again. And like, I've had some shitty days and I've had some really good days, but it's not going too terribly. And I just kind of wanted to show this because I know that there are people that are like, I've only written a couple hundred words, and like all words on your page are words that weren't there before and they're all valid. And yeah, so don't hurt yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm still drinking my coffee this morning. And like, be proud of the progress that you have made. Maybe like you don't write your whole book in November. Maybe you write just like a chunk of it, but maybe having that chunk done is what gets you to keep working on it and get it done maybe by the end of the year. You know, like it's something. It's like going out for a run. Every foot, mile, whatever, are miles you didn't have down. Good, bad, whatever. They are, progress is progress. So I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to be uplifting because I have not written a thing. I've just been like farting around on my phone.
and like watching YouTube videos and drinking my coffee this morning, but it's all valid. And like sometimes you just need to fart around on your phone and watch YouTube or like read a really terrible smutty romance or whatever it is. And like, because that's where your brain is. And I know that I have this stretch of time coming up, and like that makes me feel more comfortable about being a little slower on days like this. And like that's okay. That's okay. Also, like try not to like get too into other people talking about Nano. And like there are people that are like, I'm gonna beat Nano in 6 days because they have the capacity and the time and the ability to write 10 or 11,000 words in a day. I do not have that ability. I think the most I've ever written in a day is like 5,000 words. And like that's okay. That's okay. Like there are marathon runners and there are like people who mostly run walk, and I'm a run walker, and that is it. I don't know why I keep relating everything to running, but anyway, it's just about time for me to start getting ready for work. And I've literally like just pulled up the chapter I've been working on and put in like 3 words, and I was like, oh well, now it's time to get ready for work, so that's done. But we'll see, we'll see, we'll see how I do. I'd be curious to get back into like dictating my writing. That really helped last year, but I was writing in Word and it's much easier to dictate in Word. I don't know if I can dictate in Notion because I'm writing this in Notion this year. I might be able to dictate in Notion on like my phone or like on my iPad because that will give me the option to do that, but my computer won't. So I'm curious about maybe doing that. See how many words I can get down doing some dictation. But yeah, don't stress. Like, I feel this little tiny piece of guilt that I'm not getting more done on the day that I'm off. But also, like, I kind of need a day off, you know? And, like, isn't that fine? It's fine. So that's why I think it's important to look at what you have done. Like, I've done quite a bit. I've written almost 10,000 words in 7 days, which for me is a big deal. I hope you enjoyed the pep talk that I'm giving to you, but it's mostly for me. Anyway. I'm really done with today, though. Now I'm done with these updates. Good. My morning. Everybody else's evening. Happy Wednesday. It's NaNoWriMo day 8. I don't know what time it is, day it is, or anything. Last night was terrible. What a terrible shift. I'm so tired. I did not wake up at my normal time. I slept as late as I could because I am dead. And I think this might be the first day that I have no words written. I think I have like 15 minutes where I can try to write something, and I might try to write something, but like I'm so brain dead. I'm so tired. I'm so exhausted. So like times like this is when I think back on all the times somebody has said to me, but you only work 3 days a week. And I wanted to punch them in the face because what I do in one day, what I do in 3 days. Anyway, I'm exhausted. I'm going to see what I can get done. Editing Alyssa will put up any amount of writing I get done today, whatever it may be. And yeah. Thankfully, after tonight, I'm off for a stretch, so I can try to get back on track, edit these vlogs, just write my world a little bit. I'm so tired. Just so fucking tired. I don't want to tonight. I really don't. I really don't want to. This is when I miss having a desk job, because if I didn't want to go to work, I would just make myself go and like kind of faff about for a bit. There's no faffing about. You go, you work. That is all. Anyway, procrastinating. Let's see what I can get written. Hey, remember last week when I was like, I can't believe I'm doing so great at Nano? Well, I'm not right now. It is Thursday, and I worked last night, And it was terrible. It was such a bad shift and so exhausting. Just a continuation of the one before, of just, it was just a bad shift. But a family now has some peace and closure, and I am exhausted and I'm off for some time. So I'm hoping that I can get back into like some kind of, I don't know, good standing on my nano progress. But it's like 8 o'clock now. I've just woken up. I am so tired. I was so like just buzzing from when I got home that I couldn't go to sleep until almost noon. Also, I had to like wait for someone to give me a call back, and I was just waiting. And then finally they did, and I could go to sleep. But I was exhausted in every way, shape, or form. All I managed to do was like take a shower and then pass out. I haven't read anything. I haven't done anything today. And I'm making coffee right now. So I'm going to drink that. And I'm going to try to write for a little bit until Jesus gets home. And then I'm going to read for a little bit just so I don't lose my reading streak on Bookly. And then I will hopefully be like kind of awake at that point, and I can actually have a plan for the week. Or the week, the day. For tomorrow, what is happening? I am so tired. Oh my God. And it's not just work. Like, I'm so tired from everything. Like, I feel like work is becoming a bit of an escape because it can tunnel vision into like, I'm going to take care of people today. And then I go home and then I like scroll TikTok and then I see what's going on in the world. And it's like, I don't know why I'm doing this silly little nano thing. And like, I don't know why I even bother doing anything because the whole world's on fire and everything sucks. And I just start to have like an existential crisis. I don't know. It's just, it's a lot. And then I feel like, oh, why is it this generation? And then I realized that there's lots of generations that have gone through lots of really like horrible things that feel like the world is just unending, is just ending and not worth living in. And like, I think the difference is this is like the first time in human history where you can just like watch everything unfold. Like you can just, you're not getting some piece of news or information that's been funneled through any sort of filtering system. It's just people with cell phones, and you get such a different and such a constant perspective of what's happening in the world. It's like there's no place to hide anything anymore, which is not a bad thing, but it is also an incredibly overwhelming thing. And then there's like this guilt of I have the ability here to be like, well, I'm not going to scroll TikTok today because I can't mentally handle, all the suffering that is in the world. But then the people that are suffering don't get the chance to be like, oh, I can't mentally handle this anymore. I'm going to just like shut it off for a few hours. So like that's a guilt that makes you feel guilty. That makes me feel so guilty. Ugh, I don't know. I don't even know what this rant is. I might not even keep it in. Coffee. I'm going to go have coffee and we're going to see what happens tonight. And I will give you like another update later and we will see how Nano's going again. Because Nano matters. All right, coffee. Hello. It is like 11:30 and I've maybe written like 300 words. That's neither here nor there. I'm just finding it so hard to concentrate and get into a groove. I did do my nails while I finished Longborn. And I love this. And I think I'm going to do a separate review of it, but I absolutely loved it. And to the person who recommended it to me, you know who you are. Thank you. It's such a wonderful look at a story that I know so well, but from a different perspective and filling out the lives in this house. Loved it. Absolutely loved this. And kind of was what I needed right now. I think I just needed the mindless escape of reading. I'm going to try to write a couple more words to get a little bit more down. But I don't know. Tonight might be the night that like it's been such a heavy few days. I've been doom scrolling again. And like, I don't know. I think I just need something. I need like a night off, I think. I need a day of just being like gentle to myself, if that make any sense. Like, do whatever I want, go where the night takes me, that kind of thing. I also just, I don't think I've been doing the best, making the best choices for my mental health. Not just including the doom scrolling, but like, I've also been reading How Not to Unalive Yourself, which I think is actually a really important book. And I think it's really raw and honest and vulnerable look at the mind of people who are hurting so much that they just want it all to end. But there's this weird thing with like, I'm not going to unlove myself, just everybody relax. But there's this weird thing with like unaliving oneself that like there is kind of like a contagiousness to it in some ways. And thinking about like all the people I've already lost in my life in this way, and reading about people and thinking about just all kinds of other things that kind of circle back and connect back to this text in some way, whether it's like assisted suicides or euthanasia or whatever it is. It's just a heavy topic, I guess is my point. And so it's weighing on me a lot. And I don't want that to be a detractor from this. And I knew this was going to be heavy. And I knew this was going to make me think about a lot of things or revisit a lot of things that I maybe haven't revisited in a while. So this was probably not my best choice of reading, but all right, we're in it. We're that's fine. I haven't cycled back in Testament of Youth in a bit, so I may need to circle back to that. But I really wanted to get through this. I had it on audio from the library, so I've just been listening to it on work and stuff, and it's just heavy, and especially with the way work went. I was trying to sleep the other night, and this random YouTube like documentary popped up about a poet who from like the 20s who had a house not too far from me, maybe a couple hours away from me, like easy drive. I know the town, and I didn't know that there was like a historic home that I could like go visit there. And that's Adina St. Vincent Millay. And I've never heard of this poet, and I didn't realize that she was like such an interesting person and so well known. And I believe she like won the first Pulitzer as a woman or something like that. She was the first woman to win a Pulitzer for poetry, something like that. And she's been like all but forgotten in terms of like mainstream discussions of poetry and literature. And of course, people who really are deep in, the world of poetry know her. But anyway, so I had a bunch of money over on Pango from selling books. And so I picked up collected poems, and I read the first one the other day. And I think this is just a really long-winded way of me saying that I think I'm going to spend some time reading more poetry tonight, or whatever else it is that my little brain needs to do to just kind of feel a little better. Of course, I read the first poem in this collection, and there's imagery of like being buried, of like dying and coming back. And I don't know. Is anybody else just kind of like struggling to get their like thoughts together and to feel like the things that they're doing in life, like normal things, aren't just kind of like futile and useless because you can't stop the things you don't agree with because they're so much bigger than you? I don't know. I feel like this week's vlog is just gonna be like me spiraling. Okay. Yeah, let me know if you're also kind of like struggling just with everything because I am. Hello. I'm starting to feel like I never really moved from this corner of the couch in this week's vlog, but hey, maybe I'm just what do the kids call it? Rotting. I'm rotting in this corner. Anyway, okay, hi. It is day 10. 10? It is day 10. It's day 10 of NaNoWriMo. I am very behind. I did take the night last night to just do things that made me happy. And when I am in times of stress, what makes me feel better is to read terrible, terrible, terrible smut, like badly written smut. That makes me happy. So that's what I did most of the night. I read the second book in this series. Oh, hold on. She's being really cute. Hi. You're cute. You cute, doggo. Moving on before this battery dies. I finished the second in this really terrible like hitman romance.
And then I started a really terrible vampire romance. And that's what I did for most of the night. I did write a bit. I broke the 10,000 word mark. I crawled my way to 10K. But hey, I'm there. And then the crazy goal I have for myself before I go back to work on Wednesday is I really want to break like 25K. Well, I really want to get to like more like 27K. So that means I have to write around 17,000 words between now and Wednesday evening. I don't know what tonight's going to be like. Tonight's going to be my first night ramping up to this. I was going to go to the library today and spend a lot of time there writing just to get out of the house and like change up the scene. But unfortunately, it's Veterans Day, I believe. So the library isn't open as late as I thought it would be. And anyway, so I'm going to do a bunch of work here tonight, see how far I get. And I'm going to finish editing a couple of videos, including starting my edits on last week's vlog. And then tomorrow, I think I might go during the day to the library just to get out of the house, just to write somewhere else. Like maybe changing up my scenery, I'll be able to like write better. And I may have to like find a 24-hour diner or something to write in. And I'll be like going back to my college years of studying organic chemistry in the diner down the street. Not organic chemistry. But anyway, I did finish. Did I say I finished Longborn? I think I did. I loved it. These two romances that I've read in the last couple nights are not great. And this is, in case anybody cares, the really, really terribly written, but yet I'm reading it, vampire romance. This is Court of Nightmares. This is by the author who wrote Den of Vipers, which for the longest time was like my best video on the channel, which was so weird, that reading log. But anyway, this is terrible, but I'm loving it. And this is what's helping my mental health. So don't shame me. You got to do what you got to do. Okay. Some of us read fanfic. Some of us go for runs. Some of us do other things. I read bad smut. It got me through nursing school. It got me through a divorce. It will get me through right now. I trust in the smut. I have a video exporting. I have a podcast episode that I have to get going. Podcast episodes don't take me a very long time of like physical work to do, but it takes so long for everything to render because those files for the podcast, hey, subscribe to the podcast. We're like, they have a channel. We have a channel. Channel's linked below. You can listen to it anywhere. Anyway, hey, yay, pitching things. It takes so long for all those files to process and render and export and upload because they're huge. They're huge video files for like a tiny channel that has like 60 subscribers. So I encourage you to subscribe, but also I just need to get that going so that I can have it up and running for Monday, because I go live every Monday at 10 a.m. over on TBR Lowdown. Have I done enough self-promotion? I hope so. Anyway, there are like no video montages so far in week 2, so get ready for a lot of B-roll. I feel like the weekend is just gonna be B-roll. Also, I think we're going to meet Jesus' cousin's new puppy this weekend, or we're going to try to. So get ready for puppy footage. We love puppies. We love a good puppy. Yeah. Anyway, I'm procrastinating now. I'm stalling. Hello. I figured we'd do an update. Not at the couch, even though they really haven't moved much. I'm just tossing a non-alcoholic ginger lime mule into my fake Stanley Cup. And yeah, it's like just after midnight. I hit like 11,000 words. I really like this chapter I just wrote, but it's time to start the next one, and I'm kind of like, ugh, always staring at that blank page hurts. So I stopped and I read this, which just came in. This is A Few Figs from Thistles by Adina St. Vincent Millay, which is that poet that I was talking about. And some of these are really great. So you're kind of crooked, but go with it. You're on a binder. It's slanted. But so I think one of the things that I really liked from that documentary that piqued my interest, that made me want to like get into this poet, is not just that she was from sort of not too far from me in New York, but I kind of like how sassy some of her poetry is. And I kind of like how risque in a way things are, especially if you're thinking about a woman in like the 20s. And this edition is from 1922. If you think about a woman at the time that she was writing this and the things that women were allowed to do, and I know that it was sort of like generally a freer time, but also not. There's this like push for women's lib and all of that. And, you know, she did go to Vassar and she raised hell at Vassar, and it was very interesting. I just want to read you like a quick one, probably a famous one, and it's Thursday. And if I loved you Wednesday, well, what is that to you? I do not love you Thursday, so much is true. And why you come complaining is more than I can see. I loved you Wednesday, yes, but what is that to me? Yeah, I feel like she was a spitfire and just a hellion of a woman, and I love it. And I need to know more about her, read more of her poems, and yeah, apparently she was quite tiny and just sounds like she had quite a personality. But anyway, so I don't know how much I'll get done today. I think I might try to just like go to bed in the next couple hours and go to the library tomorrow and work on try to get like a big push done tomorrow with writing, or in the morning with writing. Because I assume we're going to go meet the puppy tomorrow. I have to check with Jesus, but I assume that's what we're going to do. Plus, I also think it's probably good for my mental health to, like, I don't know, get up, put on real clothes, go outside, see some sunshine, be among people, that kind of thing. So we're going to do that tomorrow. That's the goal for tomorrow. So until tomorrow, à demain. Good morning. I slapped on some clothes, wearing like real clothes, folks, real clothes. And I'm getting ready to go to the library now. I'm just trying to figure out what beverages to bring with me and in what containers, because I'm sure they are not just going to let me bring anything into the library. I think I might bring... Why is my toilet running? I might bring Celsius and something else, like water-wise, and a protein bar. And I set up my FreeWrite word processor to bring with me today because I just feel like that will be the best option. You know what? I think I'm just going to bring my fake Stanley and fill it up with ice and stuff. I set up my FreeWrite and I set up my iPad. So I'm going to use those two things at the library while my computer renders last week's vlog, so I can edit it quickly and get it up. So yeah, let me get myself together and we'll go to the library. I don't know how much I've slept. We'll see how much I can get done, and it'll be good just to get like out of the house, I think. I also need to pick up creamer, so we're gonna do that. That'll get you a ticket right back to where you came from. Yeah.
Who's that? Who's that?
Hey. Hi. Well, yet again, the dog likes me better.
You're already making him codependent?
Good morning. It is shockingly day 12 of Nano, and I am very behind. Also, my glasses are hurting my head. I had the weirdest day. I think you can tell I just was editing through week 1's vlog. I was exhausted. So I think all of that caught up to me yesterday. I made it about 2 hours at the library before I was like, I can't physically do this anymore. And I was kind of walking around in a fog. So I came home, I took a nap. We were supposed to go visit the puppy, which you saw the puppy. I slept too late. Jesus woke me up and I was like, oh, why are you telling me what time it is? I was sleeping. And he's like, yeah, exactly. We need to be somewhere. I was like, oh my God. And I like ran around. And then I was just like dying the whole way home. Like I was literally like falling asleep in the car. Like my head, like somebody took the batteries out of me asleep. So I slept from like 11 to about 3 solidly. So tired. And then I just woke up. And I've been editing that video, having coffee, and I'm going to get back to writing. I'm a little frustrated with last week's vlog simply because there's one update file that for some reason Final Cut is like, no, we don't know where that file is. And I'm like, relink. It's like, no, we don't know where that file is. I'm like, the file exists. I know the file exists because I can open it. I can watch it. I don't know why you can't get it. Anyway, Final Cut's annoying me. It does this all the time. But yeah, I seriously need to get my butt in gear in terms of writing because I should be over 20,000 words. I'm at 12. And last week I had almost 10. So I really should be like doubled, right? I don't see that happening, but maybe, I don't know. The library is open again today. We'll see how I feel. It's like 5:45 now. We'll see how I feel. And all that. But I think the free write was really helpful. Like this was really helpful to keep me focused. And I know that's the total shtick is that there's nothing on here but the ability to write. So you just write, you take it wherever and you write. So I'm gonna keep going with that this morning, I think. But oh man, like, do I want to strangle Final Cut Pro right now? Also, I hate that I'm so behind, but I don't know. If I get to 50, it'll be a miracle. It's just, I'll be happy if I get through most of this story. I am liking my characters more. I am understanding them better. I did a little bit more like character development stuff the other night, and I think that helped me a lot to understand some motivations and things. So I may need to do a little bit more of that as we go along, which will also keep me from writing 50,000 words, but that's my fault for not prepping enough earlier. Anyway, updates later. Hello. It's about 4:30 on Sunday, and I have barely written anything today. I kind of don't care. I'm just so off schedule now because I've been awake all day, which is not normal for me. And so I don't know what to do. I keep thinking I'm going to take a nap and I don't. But then I also have a meeting tomorrow at like 10 a.m. So I can't just like go to sleep and wake up and be I basically, my whole sleep schedule is so messed up just from this one day. But anyway, I guess I got about 1,000 words in today, which is not horrendous, but like I need more. I need a lot more. I need to get more like 3,000 words in. And I don't know. I mean, I guess the day's not over, but I'm just so far behind. I am like a good 7,000 words behind where I need to be today for Nano. I'm just hoping that there's going to be like a moment where I actually really have like inspiration and I've got like enough of a handle of everybody that like I can just go. You know what I mean? Like I just write like the wind. It's gonna be a very frustrating week. This whole vlog's gonna be very frustrating. It's just frustrating. I'm looking at everything I'm currently reading and like I can tell that my mind is like confused because I have nonfiction memoir. I have really terrible vampire reverse harem smut, which is helping me, and then I just started As Long as Lemon Trees Grow, which is hitting a little too close to home. I know this is about Syria and Syrian refugees and everything happening there, but coupled with what's coming out of Gaza, it's like it's too much. It's too much. Our main character is a doctor, but she's not really a doctor. She got like made to be a doctor, and the things that she's seeing, the things that are going on, it's a lot for me right now, but I'm enjoying it and I think it's important. So I just feel like even my reading seems a bit helter-skelter, but like I don't know. I'm making coffee right now, but I also like don't really want to read. I also don't really want to write. I don't want to like watch TV. Nothing. I can't focus on anything. Everything is unwanted right now, and I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means that I don't have the desire to really do anything, but pretty much just like exist. It's probably depression, but I don't know. I think this week's just gonna be like, be gentle on yourself. You get where you get. Just keep putting some words on the page, and hopefully you'll be able to catch up, Alyssa, next week when maybe you are feeling more human. I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, if you're doing Nano, how's it going for you? Are you having a better time? Is it easier for you? I keep seeing people being like, I wrote 27,000 words this weekend, and I'm like, I hate you, but I don't hate you. It's just, we have different lives and things going on in our brains, and I'm gonna go get that coffee. Step 1, coffee. Hello. It is still technically Monday. I think that's the 13th. I think this is like my last set of updates. I have done piss poor this week, and I was talking to a friend online, and they were like, look, it's about establishing the habit of writing. And I will say that I'm establishing a habit. Am I getting very far? No, but I'm establishing or reestablishing a habit. So that's good. I'm around 15,000 words, which is about 6,000 words shy of where I need to be. But obviously, I still have one more day here to write. We'll see how I do. And I think the problem is that this week I've been like emotionally overwhelmed. I don't know if that was clear in other clips. Yeah, no, I've just been so emotionally drained and overwhelmed that like it's really hard to focus on writing. And I guess this does happen, you know, we have to be kind to ourselves and all that fun stuff. Literally the only thing I've been able to process is just smutty books this week. So I'm just rounding out Hunting Adeline. No, yeah, this one's Haunting Adeline. The next one's Hunting Adeline. Like I have like a couple pages left, so I just want to come in and do a quick update before I finish this. I will say that I think like the reactions that you see on TikTok, particularly for men that are reading this and they're like, oh my god, that's what you like, and they're like, this book is crazy, this book is like the trigger warning pages at the front of them make this sound like the most ominous book in the world. And I don't know, I feel like the K.A. Knight books, like Den of Vipers, was much more depraved. I feel like Alison Rumfitt, much more depraved and kinky and all of that. This feels like a lighter version of those things, but okay, whatever. Also, I might just have like a super low trigger threshold, so it might hit me differently. Like I might be reading it and like, because some of it's funny to me because it's so melodramatic and it's so over the top, and like some of the things he says, this guy in this book, is just, it's too much. Like I'm like, stop talking. I'm going to need less of you talking. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. I think that if you want a better experience, I keep thinking about the Mindfuck series, which is more fun. I think it's more fun, and I think it has similar things in it that this has, but in a much more playful and addictive plot. But it doesn't have as much like smexy time. Like this has a lot more smexy time in it, but this whole like cat and mouse kind of thing, I feel like the Mindfuck series is better. That was like a huge surprise book. Like I did not think I was gonna like this, and I did like it. So but, you know, now I know what this is all about. I will read the second one because this is going to end on a cliffhanger, which I know that. So I'll need to know what happens next in it. But that's my stalling. I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to get back to doing some writing. It's about midnight. It's 1:45. I'm trying to get back on my night schedule because I got all off this weekend. Like I've seen daylight entirely too much, and I'm all kinds of discombobulated. So I slept until about like 8 tonight, and so after being out during the day, because I had a meeting at 10, and then he just wanted to go to lunch, and since I never see him, we went to lunch, and then, you know, I crashed. So anyway, the night is mine to write, I guess is my point, and I'll see what I can get done. Let me finish this smut and then get back to writing my own smut. Or hopefully people, well, who's reading this? No one's reading my smut. Anyway, that's all. That's where we are on day 13 of NaNoWriMo, is we're just behind, but we're embracing the fact that we're behind, and we're embracing new habits. That's what we're doing. Starting new habits, cultivating new habits. That's what we're doing. That's what NaNoWriMo is this year. So it's one of my goals from 2020 for 2023 was to write more, and it's probably the one goal I haven't worked on the most, and so I need to put some attention to it. I did hit a lot of my goals this year, I will say, but this one has been lacking. So yeah, I'm stalling. Can you tell? Okay. Goodbye. Okay, the lighting is terrible per usual in the living room, but I'm set up on the coffee table. I'm set up on the coffee table, and I wanted to just quickly show you some of the things that I'm using to help me here. I have a couple of these. I have this one and I have another one, like the urban one. I don't know if you can even see these. The emotional thesaurus. I bit the bullet and I got more of them. So I now own like all of them, I think, except for the rural settings. I don't really have a rural setting in anything that I've done. So these are really helpful. These two I haven't really gone through that much, the positive and negative traits, but you've positive and negative traits. Conflicts come in two kinds. I've marked off a few things in that for this book. Emotional wound I've been using as well. The emotional thesaurus is kind of up there with positive traits. I don't use it as often, but it is kind of helpful when you're trying to capture something. But the one that I'm really working on right now is this one, the occupational thesaurus, and I've got my two main characters kind of like outlined in here. So basically I'll go to like here, bounty hunter. Like, what is a bounty hunter? What kind of training do you need to have? What skills might you have? What character traits might you have? What might being a bounty hunter do? Like, what kind of friction in your life might you have? And who are you interacting with? How do they interact? The character's needs, and the needs are based on Maslow's hierarchy, which I kind of like. And then it gives you tips on maybe not being so cliche about what you're doing, and like motivation as to why they have this career. And I think that this one in particular is really helpful right now because my character is just getting a new job. So yeah, so that's gonna be really helpful for me, I think. I hope. This is all to say I'm tired of like carrying things around the house because I move around depending on like who's sleeping. Only Jesus would be sleeping, and I end up spending a lot of time down here, if you haven't noticed, instead of at my beautiful new desk, which is frustrating, and I need to get better at prioritizing going up there. And I also need to get better at having Mercy go up and down stairs, because the biggest barrier to being able to write upstairs is that I have to be able to get Mercy up and down the stairs. And right now I can kind of like push and help her get up, but she cannot figure out how to get down, which involves me carrying her. And I swear this girl gets heavier and heavier and heavier. So it's getting more and more difficult to do that. But anyway, so I went to the garage and I found this thing I used to have for knitting. If I was like traveling somewhere and knitting, like I used to go, away or whatever domestically, I would bring this and you could put like a whole project in it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this sort of like a little rolly wheelie like writing thing. So I'm going to put these books in there, and I'll be able to slide like my 3Write in there and my iPad and probably even my laptop at some point if I was to like go back to the library or whatever. So I think this will be like kind of a fun little thing, and it'll be much easier to transport everything around, and everything will be in one spot. And yeah. And I remembered that I had this because I was watching somebody's videos and they were talking about like writing books that they really like and all this stuff. And then they had a link to their Amazon store. And so I was going through their Amazon store looking at the books that they had recommended. And they had something similar for scrapbooking. And I was like, wait a minute. I have one of those. And I could really use one of these. So I think this will be good. So it's just like one stop shop for my things for writing. But basically this just contains what hi Mercy. Basically that just contains whatever I need, and I can just keep this with me, and I can pretend I'm a lawyer with like rolling files or something. Anyway, that's enough procrastinating. let's get back into this writing. Hello. So Mercy has kicked me out of my seat on the other side of the couch. I realize that's probably why I never sit there. But anyway, it's about 4 a.m., which means we are coming up on the time when Jesus is going to wake up. So I'm going to sort of slow down. I don't know how much I wrote tonight, and editing Alyssa will put in I'll put in how much I wrote today and then how much I wrote for the week, like where am I standing in terms of Nano. I definitely think I'm up over like 16,000 words, which is not where I'm supposed to be, but that's okay. I'm getting a little bit more into it now that like these characters are like coming into each other's world and using those writing thesauruses to help me kind of construct different aspects of my characters and their motivations and their conflicts and stuff like that. Even just in my head, I do have to like, kind of put them down in their character like sheets on my Notion template, but at least just having like a clearer vision in my head of what's going on with them is helping me write more and find their voices and all of that. Also, this is helping me tremendously. I do enjoy my free write. This was very expensive and I'm very glad that I did get it. It's a very handy little tool. But yeah, I think that the important lesson from this week is that it's okay to not be perfect, but you just keep going. Do you know what I mean? If all you can manage is something small that day, that's what you can manage. But what matters is that you did it. And I just have to keep reminding myself that the important thing is that I'm writing, I'm getting a habit back. And it's probably better that I don't go absolutely crazy, because what's happened in the past is that I get really into what I'm writing and then I get so burnt out on Nano that I just don't want to write anymore. And then Nano comes back around and I'm like all jazzed. As we lead into Nano, I'm like, oh my God, let's get writing. I have all these ideas. And then I go through Nano and then I'm burnt out again. So I think that being a little gentler on myself is going to be a good plan. I'm going to do my best to get as close to 50,000 as I can. And I'm going to not be hard on myself if I don't make it to exactly 50, because what matters is that I didn't have any of these words on a page like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, there was nothing. We are kind of like halfway through Nano. Yeah, I should be around 25K, but that's just not where I sit. And you never know. You never know with Nano. There could be some spark of inspiration, burning the midnight oil kind of moment that evens the playing field, or I just keep plodding along, adding, 1,000 or so words every day that I have to write until this gets finished. On a writing break, I did start Hunting Adeline, which does appear to have the same cover as the first book, but it's not exactly the same. This is fine. I'm still going to say, I think, reflecting on this, especially now that we're in book 2, thankfully it's only 2 books, it's clear that the Mindfuck series that I read, I think has a vlog here on the channel, or a review at least. I feel like I can't talk. I feel like I'm slurring. I think I'm just tired. I feel like that's more fun. I just feel like it's a good time. I think this is a little too melodramatic, which is weird to say when I think about how like melodramatic and crazy Mindfuck series is. I think the difference is that our like villainous character, who is our main character in the Mindfuck series, that we end up empathizing with and really loving, even though she is massively flawed, has like a crazy, like it's an insane reason to have a like revenge sort of vendetta against somebody, but you're like, I get this motivation and you're kind of like not mad at her for doing the things that she does. This one, the guy, it's like he's doing this noble thing, but like I don't know why he cares so much. Also, like it just feels like you gave him a noble cause to make it so that when he does all the like not so great things to our female MC, that like he has some sort of redeemable quality. But like, is he really redeemable? I don't know. But anyway, they're separated now, in case anybody cares, and he's got to go find her. Whatever. She's been sold into prostitution, essentially. Okay. It's dark. I will say that Book Talk is right. I mean, it is very dark. I just feel like there's like lit fic that isn't smut, that is written better, that is more depraved than this. And if the Book Talk girlies and bros and everybody else on there, whatever your pronouns, read those instead, I think that they would be like absolutely shocked. I think they would like look at this and be like, I thought this was depraved. But anyway, that's that. I think I'm gonna wrap this up. Is every video just gonna be wrapped up right here? It might be. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next video, whatever it may be, because it's my channel and I can do whatever I want. Bye.
So just sit with me, talking to the night until the morning, building chemistry. I don't think I ever wanna go, come closer next to me. Trying to find another way to say this, but I think we were meant to be.